Good afternoon again from Yamibi TV. Now we're moving on to the Royal Court of Appeal down in the Strand, right? Del Brendan Hyde's waiting there. Yeah, they're all coming to Uncle Yami. Look, Yamibi TV. Look, little camera crew there, boy. Whee! Everyone's outside here. Look. One of my boys from way back in the day. The press are here. Everybody's here. There's Del there. This is where he got released from. You right, my boy?
Yeah, I love your channel, man.
There they all are. Yeah.
You don't know
There we are, the Royal Courts of Justice, right? All right, so this is where Del Brendan Hyde, on that day, 25 years ago, odd years ago, he got released from here. Remember the Guildford 4, the Birmingham 6, or whatever? They got released from here. Everybody was waiting for them. Poor old Del got released from here after a torrid time in there, found not guilty, turned up, no one was outside.
Nobody outside to say like,
no
okay,
love, you know, no love.
Any love, no
right?
nothing.
So
we just
again,
in the press here, like they all know Yami B's like,
yeah.
Spin back round this way.
Let, my boy. Yeah. We're outside here today. Good crowd outside here, trust me. But yeah, how did he feel? You know what I mean? Everybody's you know, it's all right when you're found guilty. Hold on, Del. Yeah. When you're found guilty, everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. When you're found not guilty, what about then? You know what I mean? How about some sympathy? You know, if we're to believe in the justice system, think about it, man. You know what I mean? We're going on by what the courts say. Uncle Yami says. So Uncle Yami knows about these convictions. Uncle Yami knows how difficult it is to win these convictions. And today, Uncle Yami gets the feeling so that Del can remind himself what happened, because he hasn't relived it properly yet. But he's out here today, and this is what he's going to say. The great Yami B. Right? So there. Right, he's going to come out the door and relive that moment, which is, you know, you think about it, man, when your name's tarred with certain brushes over a period of time, and then at the end of the day, you know, you get that little bit of respite. Yeah. Of course you can, boy. Don't worry, boy. Sweet as a nut. Yeah, man. Don't worry, man. And then remember, everybody's entitled to their justice, man, and have their day in the sun. You know what I mean? Many men have had to suffer along the years and come out. We know about the IRA. We know about certain things. Uncle Yami sympathises with it. Oh, it's all right when you say, all right, we got it wrong. But how do you feel? You know, because at that time, Del was really in a real bad place as a young kid. All right? So he's coming out now, and here he is. All right? Loads of love. Woo! Go on, Del.
Hey. So this is how I should have come out 25 years ago. Do you know what I mean? I should have come out. There's all the press down there. They're there for Wayne Rooney. I don't know what he's done, but do you know what I mean? Like, he kicks the ball about, doesn't he? You know what I mean? That's about it.
Wayne,
so he's famous for fucking kicking the ball about.
The great
I've
Wayne
just
Rooney
done 27 months in prison for nothing.
I know you, Uncle Yami.
Right? It's absolutely messed me head up. It's gone on for 25 years. We've come back 25 years later just to explain the difficulties of having a miscarriage of justice and the seriousness of like the courts and how they get it wrong and how the justice system can get things wrong and the actual intricacies that go on to somebody and what it impacts in the life when something like this happens to you. So it's just a warning, like the Stitch book's out there on Amazon. It's available in Kindle, paperback, hardback. You can get it in all formats, do you know what I mean? We wanted to come here today to just say, God bless anybody that's suffering, stuck in a cell today, and they're banging their head, they're looking at them four walls thinking, why am I here? I understand your pain, do you know what I mean? I'm here myself to say, do you know what I mean? This system, when it lets you down, mate, when it backfires, when it goes wrong, it really fucks you up, mate, do you know what I mean? And there's something that should be done. There's no compensation for everybody.
All right, Del, reliving that moment from way back in the day, what happened when, as soon as you was released, what did you feel like? Where did you go? And what were the after events after those early stages of release? Because I'm hearing quite clearly that you were frightened of ladies.
Yeah, definitely. So I got like Lord Stoughton, Sir William McPherson, Judge Gower released me, let me go, full acquittal. You know, totally 4 days into a 5-day trial, said you're free to go. I come outside the Royal Courts of Appeal, no media, no nothing, I didn't know where to go. I got the train back home to Wakefield, and the impact of it, like as time went on, do you know what I mean, like as Yami says, dealing with like sort of getting back into, you know, I'm talking about someone that's 21, so you're still like looking for a girlfriend, you're still involved with like that scene, you know, you're on the scene looking for ladies and that, you know, you're a young man. So the impact of that the first time that like you're sort of looking into sort of like dealing with even sleeping with someone, you've got all that impacting back in your mind, worrying, even though you've not done anything wrong and you're not doing anything wrong right there and then in that moment, you're still worrying, thinking, could this now become a charge again? Could this become a nightmare where your door gets kicked in, the police come in, they drag you out of bed, get out of bed, you dirty rapist fucking bastard. That's what you're dealing with, and when you're 20 years old. They're not like tip-tapping about, they're dragging you out of bed, and before you know it, you're on remand, the magistrates have shit themselves and let you down, you're remanded, 12 month on remand, 13 month on remand, then found guilty with no evidence, zero evidence whatsoever, nothing whatsoever. All the evidence pointed actually the other way to prove that you're totally telling the truth, but nobody listened to you. The system just absolutely doesn't listen to you. And then you go into the system and then you're dealing with the prison system with a charge like that, which is difficult to deal with in the prison system.
Which me and you know through history, Uncle Yummy was a predator on the vulnerabilities, sadly.
Yummy knows like all about the cat
and you know, but Dale weren't taking no backward step. He had to go into the mode of, you know, whatever, man, I ain't guilty. Luckily, he's co-defendant as well, you know, you got to remember they jumped over the dock and started attacking the judge and everything like that. Very serious, very serious and demeaning, you know, because we look at all sides of the coin on Yummy DTV.
Very demeaning.
You know what I mean? We know that Uncle Yummy favours the ladies, but on this occasion, Uncle Yummy goes with the facts. You know what I mean? The facts that you came here and you got off. And that is proven to be...
It's difficult now to see the press outside. Like I said, there's about 10 press out there, different TV, different radio stations, high-profile TV and stations out there looking for news, and they're here to see something to do with Wayne Rooney. I don't know what Wayne Rooney's in the
down by asking.
What is in the court for? Do you know what I mean?
Wayne Rooney, my boy, you know.
For Wayne. But it won't be anything like that. But can you imagine if Wayne was in for rape and he was coming out, and how many photographers would be outside this courtroom if it was a rape case and he was getting acquitted? How many people would be outside there to pick up this story? Where people like me, and I wrote the book Stitch for not just for me, but for anybody ordinary on the street that's dealing with miscarriage of justice. I ain't got the massive media behind them like the Guildford 4 or the Birmingham 6. I understand the pain and everything that they went through. That I suffered 25 years of shit outside, stigma. The prison was easy compared to the stigma of that charge. The rape charge doesn't go away.
Answer that question. When you left court that day, let's stick to the facts. You know what you was feeling like, because these are the questions I'm asking you.
Very confused, mate.
Very confused.
Come outside of here and I didn't realise the building that I was actually in. When you go and look at the Royal Courts of Appeal, it is a massive, massive building. And when you're down in the cells, you brought
relief as well.
You brought from Brixton. I come out as relieved, but I was, you know, scared in a way. Anybody that comes out of prison when they've done a sentence, you've got that like weird feeling of like, oh, I'm back on, you know, I'm back out in society. So you've got to adjust. When you come out, when you've not done anything wrong, you feel like you still got to adjust, but you don't realise why you're adjusting because you've done no crime. So you're still adjusting.
But Del, tell the viewers where you went. After that, how long did you have to? You went travelling, you went there to get away, you had to do things. How did you find it in the community to get yourself back together with the paranoia about the stigma about what could be said about you? There's a lot to deal with. I flew
straight away to the Middle East, as I always have. My dad's been in the Middle East for 33 years in like Saudi Arabia, Libya, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Japan, Pakistan, you know what I mean? And I went out there to Abu Dhabi, I lived out there again, then I got married, I went to live in Norway, but I was running away. I thought I got a passport for Norway because I was married. I thought, well, at least they can't pull me away from it. Every time somebody knocked on my door, I thought, is this the fucking police? That is not paranoia, that's just reliving trauma that what a miscarriage of justice puts in somebody's brain. When you're a young kid and the bang, 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 you think, oh, they're not here again, are they? Because you've been, and you think, oh, why would they do that again? But when you've been through it once, you believe any time it could happen again, and that's what like always sticks in your mind, and that's what takes a lot of time to get through and get past. And the trauma takes a long time. It took me 25 years to write Stitch. I'm past it now. I'm studying the Royal Courts of Appeal.
How many books later though? You've got a couple now. There's a
the
few.
Incron, the Whiskey Bull,
I've got them all in my bag.
I've wrote a few different books on other people, and you know, I'm busy like writing a book called Quentin Calling now about Quentin Tarantino working on his last film that is the Incron. It might be fiction, it might be fact, but you'll find out when you read the book. But
Del, what about Del? You've got a good, lovely missus now. You've got a lovely wife now. Everything's changed around, but look how long it took for you to reach this stage, man. You know, I've spoken to you over a number of months, and the trauma from coming back from that is very bad. It's very bad because you know when you're labelled some way, you don't. You know, if it ain't you, there's many men that go to prison, right, for rape. Remember that? I told you that. And they always say, no, it wasn't me. And they try and come on normal location. Dell turned up. You know what I mean? He had to battle with the screws with this and that. They moved him from Armley to this and that because he was having a go. Then they thought they were going to put him in Wakefield because they knew that no matter what, they can't stitch him up that way because he's still going to turn up and have a row and all that kind of stuff and go on with the way that he was going on at that time as a youngster. You've got to remember that. So in his mind, he's in complete denial, and rightly so, because the Royal Courts of Justice have said rightly so.
For the people, I just want to say this, for the people that have slandered me, when they've read the facts, when they know for a fact I'm 100% innocent of this charge, and you've continued to slander me or use this charge and the stigma of this word
you got found not guilty
against me, all I can say is, you know what I mean, you're the fucking lowest of the low. You're the lowest of the low.
Del, emotions aside, Del.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They grab onto stuff. But you got to go with the evidence. You got to go with the facts. Uncle Yami, you wouldn't be on my channel if I thought you was guilty. You've got to remember that.
No. People are looking for something to get at you now.
Yeah, but they're getting at you for what? You've changed your life around.
Yeah, because people just don't like. People don't like you doing well. Some people don't like you doing well.
Uncle Yami on Yami BTV, Uncle BTV, always delivers the facts, man. You know what I mean? You can't. It's all right if you get guilty. You say what it is. You go, yeah, but you got found guilty. He's this and that. So what happened if you get found not guilty? Then that means it wasn't you.
What I'd like to say
that's
is
what we're rolling.
An acquittal from the Royal Courts of Appeal. What it actually means is that you were not guilty. It just the court, the Crown Court, the Magistrates Court, the police, the CPS, they made mistakes. It can happen. People make mistakes. It's a human nature to make mistakes. They have all the way along their line have made mistakes. What happened? What it took for to get to the bigger judges in the Royal Courts of Appeal to actually rectify what was wrong and say you're not guilty, and that is what I am, not guilty. So, you know, from the, like I said, emotions are running high because it's 25 years later. But what I want to say is, peace, mate. I've got peace in my heart, mate. I don't give a fuck about peace.
Yeah, but Dale, don't worry, we know, man.
We're all right.
But yeah, Uncle Yami, we were just saying, we're going to do that last bit now. We're going to go somewhere down in, I think we're going to go to the Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, we're going to go to the East End and
all the other
Jack
bit there. He's taking me out today. I come down to London today, especially for this. But there's a big crowd out here, man. I never knew they knew about Yami BTV. Yeah, I know. They're just all out there in the press. They're saying, Uncle Yami, can we have a quick
word? Turn it that way. Turn it that way.
Oh, is it that way?
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Turn it that way. Walk down with that, Yami. Yeah. Walk down and then get me in front of it.
Yeah, go on. Down.
Let me get in front of these and come back down.
Yeah, come on in. Uncle Yami never knew everybody knew him. Look. The old serial killer from way back in the day. Look, yeah.
Right, so what I want to say, right, is all these sort of people that are behind us that are here for like Wayne Rooney, and they're looking for like a bit of something to sell to the papers to make the bread and butter. They should have been outside here 25 years ago listening to people that have been acquitted by the highest judges in the country, Lord Stoughton, Judge Gower, Sir William McPherson, who did the Stephen Lawrence report. People should have been here to report it and say like this has gone wrong and put things right for young people that have had miscarriages of justice, but there's nobody here. So this is why we've put ropes stitched, and this is why we're here today to say to everybody, and if there's anybody in prison that's like suffering a miscarriage of justice and you're 100%, don't fucking bullshit me, but if you're 100%, get in touch with me.
But Dale, tell him about what you had to go through, what the stress brought with the cancer and other things you had to battle back from after effects from those things as well.
Yeah, I think like the stress of it all, I got myself fit, I went through a period of drinking, I went through the gratia payment, which is like what you go to try to get compensation from the Home Office. The gratia payment is like a coffers, what the Home Office have a pot of money for anybody that suffered miscarriage of justice. I ended up getting like just a sort of knockback from them because they said that the evidence, even though you've been acquitted, it's not enough. That it needs to change in England. That should be law and it should be changed. If you've been fully acquitted by the highest judge in the country, you should be acquitted and you should be fucking compensated as soon as you come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they always look for a way out.
They look for a way out. They kind of I went through appeals. I went through like appeals of appeals of appeals of appeals. and I ended up like spending 7 years chasing compensation, which kept this case in my mind, which messed my mind up. All my family and friends and everybody, loved ones, said, leave it, drop it. I could have dropped it. As I come out of this door, I could have dropped it, but I thought, why should I drop it when I've spent 27 months in prison for nothing? So I'm not going to drop it.
No.
So I'm going to chase compensation. Rightly so, to get myself back on my feet. Never happened.
The mental trauma is worse than the bird.
The mental trauma, mate, ended up being an alcoholic for over 10 years, which caused me cancer. I've battled cancer for 10 years. I'm clear. I've battled cancer, bowel cancer.
Always remember that one. What are they thinking?
Cancer to my liver 3 times, mate. Yeah, and I'm still stood here now saying, fuck this place. And anybody that's suffering miscarriage of justice, I just want to say, if you want to get in touch with me, my email is theinkrun, THEINKRUN @icloud.com. If you want to send me a message, send me a message. If you're suffering a proper miscarriage of justice, send me a message and I'll try and give you some guidance to try to help you get out and get some like legal advice that will help you. Okay? God bless.
All right. So then we're moving on now. This is my boy here. Everything cool? All right, go down. All right. Well, coming up, part 3 in a minute. We're going to join it all together. Uncle Yami says the facts. Yami BTV. Uncle B gives it to you straight. Loads of love.